Welcome to Cross Country Talk. My name is Brian, and I have on my guest Brooklyn once again.
Hi.
Brooklyn and I, we just last Wednesday, we took her new Honda CRF 125F out on an adventure ride covering about a little over 20 miles. And we're going to talk about that tonight. But I do want to thank Dylan for coming on and helping me with the show. He's kind of doing the back scene, looking at the chat. Dylan, you released something today you should probably tell us about.
Yeah, I released what I think is our finest piece of work to date. I've been on YouTube for 10 years, but after all this time, only in the last year and a half, things have gotten better. Well, I feel like with this video here is a whole new level, multiple cameras, multiple angles, and copious amounts of hours of editing and transitions and cuts. Time to multiple songs. I am so proud of it, and it should be live right now.
Nice. And then I will put a link up top so people can click on it and they'll go right to your video. I'll also put it in the description down below. We are here tonight and every night. Well, not every night, but every week. Try to be. And try to bring on interesting, adventurous type guests to have them come on and tell us a little about themselves and the adventures that they go on. All to inspire you to get out of the house and go find your own adventure. So we'll get right into it. Brooklyn. So the beginning of the trip, tell us a little bit about it. How do we get started?
The night before we left for the morning, we packed our gear and all the cameras. We brought two GoPros, a GoPro 3 and a GoPro 8, I believe. And we loaded everything in the truck. The next morning, we put all the dirt bikes, our two dirt bikes in the trailer, and we headed off onto the road up to Fouts Springs.
Now, did we have any issues with the dirt bikes on that bumpy road going up to Fouts Springs?
Yes, the back tires on the trail were sliding and the front steering wheel was turning, so it was making the bike kind of lean.
Yeah, so Dylan, I know you own a bike as well, and we all know the traditional way of tying down a bike is by the bars, putting a piece of wood between the tire and the fender, and then ratcheting down the bars.
Till everything's solid, yes.
But I've recently come across another way of doing it, so we were kind of experimenting, and I've done it in the back of the truck, and it actually works quite well. But in the back of the truck, if you put your front tire, your bike in the front corner of your pickup, and then from the foot pegs, you take a ratchet strap from the foot pegs out to your tie down points in each corner of your truck, and then you run a third one running forward or back, depending on what angle your front ones or your side ones are coming off of. But that puts less stress on the front end of your bike, and it actually holds the bike a lot better.
Okay.
It's really
news to me.
So we tried it on the trailer for the first time. And I think the first time we did it, all our force was pulling the bikes forward, which the tire would want to spin and it would loosen the bike up. We tried a couple other routes and the back tire wanted to slip out. But we finally fixed the problem by putting a tow strap around the back of the tire to the back of the trailer. And then the straps off the pegs went off to the side or maybe to the forward just a little bit. And then the bikes did not move one bit. So
make it go where you want it to go, kind of like when you're riding. If you look the direction you want to go, don't look the direction you don't want to go. Look where you want to go. Make the bike go where you want it to go, regardless. Send it that way, even if it means more throttle and less brake. I know that sounds counterproductive or counter to common sense, if you will. It's totally true, though. I would imagine you can both relate to that statement.
All right. Brooklyn, Chad says hi.
Hi, Chad.
Dylan, do you know Chad at all?
Maybe.
Chad should know you.
Okay.
Because anytime my dad or myself go live, Chad is the first one to get on and say hi.
I've noticed that in the last 3 live streams because I was I was in the background of your previous one where it was just the two of you, Brooklyn and Brian. I was watching on my drive home. Well, not watching, I was watching the road, I was listening on the drive home. I've heard that name several times. It's nice to meet you virtually. Again, the COVID hug handshake thing. Here you go. Sweet. Nice to meet you.
We also got Brock. I believe it's called Brock Necks. Is that right? Broke Necks. Good
Nice.
afternoon, kids. Cheers from the middle of nowhere, Alaska.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, that jealous. I'd love to be there right now.
Yeah.
I got a really nice drone. I'd be flying with the FPV goggles the whole time. Sorry to get sidetracked. Back to you, Brian.
But yeah, welcome from sunny, hot California. So we let's see. We got up there. We started unloading the bikes. Take it from there, Brooklyn.
Before we unloaded the bikes, we got our gear on. We got all the GoPros ready on our helmets. And then we unloaded the bikes. And then we showed the cameras where we were going to go, the routes that we were going to go. And then we headed off.
Yeah, so
I'd like to know, have you guys ever mounted cameras other than on your helmets? Did you do any other experimenting with mounts?
Let me take this off here real quick. Yes, and we have plenty of ideas, but on this trip, it being very important to Brooklyn, her being her first adventure out there, we wanted to spend more of our time learning the trails and learning the technique than having to fumble around with cameras. So we did go above and beyond what we've done in the past. So I had my GoPro on, and I keep it on the front of my helmet. Mm-hmm. And I've got that fuzzy muff that goes over it to block out the wind noise. So it's picking up my audio. We couldn't hook that up that way on Brooklyn's helmet, but yet we glued it with one of the sticky mounts in the top of underneath her sun visor. And that seemed to work pretty well too, because it was picking up her audio. I've seen other dirt bike guys do it. It's like right here, but it's up high enough where it's not blocking her view. But you're seeing everything that she's seeing.
That's good. I haven't heard of that one. That's a good one. I haven't tried that. Thank
you. We were going to try some other options, like setting up a stationary camera, letting us drive by, turn around, turn the camera, do it again. But that would take a lot more time, and I think that would kind of take the mission that we were out there to accomplish. You know, we weren't really out there to make a video. We were out there to teach Brooklyn how to ride the trails. Mm-hmm. So that was the important thing. So broke necks, nice. Don't get to see many huskies around here. I'd rather have a husky than a KTM personally. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but a husky is a KTM.
What? Really?
Yes. From what I understand, KTM bought Husqvarna out. So pretty much any aftermarket part that you put on that husky is going to probably be a KTM part. But correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard.
I'll take it.
And I believe KTM bought gas too. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to sharing our screen. Let's see if this works. And I hope it's not picking up the audio, which it shouldn't because I got everything muted. But Dylan, have you ever been out to Fouts Springs?
Negative, sir. I really, really want to, though.
All right, so Fouts Springs is, I would say, probably about 15 minutes west of Stonyford.
Okay.
And what you're seeing here is the nail track. It's a day use area. So if you don't want to camp, you don't want to pay that $5 fee, you can come here just for the day, park your rig, unload your bikes. This flat area, which they call nail track, is, you can use it to warm up before you get out on the trail, do a couple laps in it, and then off you go. So as you saw back there, you guys are seeing, I'm not looking at this by myself, am I? Are you guys seeing?
I can see it. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're on, yeah.
Okay. Just checking. I didn't want to be talking to myself here.
Premiered up on YouTube, too.
Cool. So yeah, you saw the bathroom there. They've got benches, some shade trees, so it's a good place to get suited up or to pack back up underneath some shade trees, or if you had to use the bathroom, whatever. And mini trails that leave out of there. So there's Brooklyn. There you go. So yeah, just look around.
Oh, that's your video playing.
Yeah. So let's fast forward this a little bit. Brooklyn, what did we do once we got unloaded?
When we got unloaded, we went around Nail Track to warm up, checked some things out. We let the bikes warm up, and then we took off to our adventure, I should say.
Right. So once I get my, if you guys are watching the video feed here, this is the nail track area. So we're just getting out, getting warmed up. And then.
So this is your second outing on this bike?
Yes.
Okay. I am living vicariously because it's been a long time since my first ride.
Brooklyn Adriana says hi.
Hi, Adriana.
Yeah, so other than a couple local rides, I think Brooklyn, when we first got the bike, you rode around the house real quick. We have an empty lot that you rode around on. We went over to next day to friend's property, got to ride kind of along next to the river on the private land. But yeah, the first outing was with the family, and we were just kind of taking the easy trails. But this was her second big adventure on her bike, and actually logging in some good trail miles. So what happened, Brooklyn, when we left Nail Track after being all warmed up?
We were about to take off on the road to the trail until we saw a snake in the middle of the road.
So you guys see it right there.
Yeah.
What kind of snake is that, Dylan? It's not a rattlesnake.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be steering clear up, I'll tell you that. I don't care what kind of snake it is.
So I don't know if that's like a gardener snake or what.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's some good quality you got going. You can stop it like that, and it looks really good picture.
Yeah, he didn't move at all. I think he was just using the pavement there to warm up as the sun was coming up. Because Brooklyn, we got out there about 8:30. I think we were on the road, right?
Yeah, close to that time.
That snake's warming up while you guys are warming up the bikes and stretching out. Everybody's getting warmed up, right?
Right. All right. So take us further, Brooklyn.
After we passed the snake, we traveled a little bit on the road, not too far, and then we hopped on a trail, a little short one, that slowly leads up to Potato Hill, if I'm correct.
Yep, and that was Trail 41. It's the trail systems out in Fouts Springs are marked, I think, in 3 different colors. One being easiest, which is green, blue being most difficult in blue, and then black diamond. I forget the wording for it, but it's like hardest or something like that. For me, it just means don't go down that. All right, so out of trail, what did I say, 41?
Yeah, I think.
We took a couple offshoots, and then we were trying to work ourselves to trail 34. And let me see if I can get a good view here. Brooklyn pulling up.
Looks like similar conditions to Indian Valley.
Yeah, the Fouts Springs, the lower area, it's hot. All right, I'm not gonna lie.
It's hot.
Fouts Springs is in an oven. It's in a bowl. If the valley's got a little breeze, I guarantee Fouts Springs does not. To kind of show you that point, if you look right above my head, that hill up there, that point, if you can see it, that's what they call Potato Hill. And from a distance, you can see a green carpet that's laid out up there, and that's where the paragliders and the hang gliders take off. And
Cool.
they catch these thermals in Fouts Springs, and they'll go thousands of feet up in the air, fly, over the wilderness, go over to St. John, and just catch thermals there all day long.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, once you break out of that bowl, you can actually get up into some pretty heavy timber, and it tends to be a lot cooler if you can get out of that bowl. Broke necks. So I've been told, LOL, not a snake within many thousands of miles of me. Ha ha ha. Not a fan of them. Sneaky snakes. I'd rather face a bear than a snake. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never faced a bear, so that's really hard for me to. Yeah.
Well, I know I can run from a snake.
No, that's a for sure. Yeah, that's a for sure.
All right. So yeah, this is the beginning of what trail, Brooklyn?
34.
34. Yep. And it's an easy trail. As you look on the marker, the road marker, the trail marker here, it actually tells you what vehicle is allowed on that trail. So you'll see motorcycles, ATVs, you'll see UTV, you'll see buggy, and a Jeep.
So what if it's not there? Does that mean that's not allowed there?
Yeah, it's not allowed for one, or maybe it's not recommended. Like this trail here, I've taken my truck on it before.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller wheelbase, but it's still legal.
Okay, so but there's a difference between still legal and just illegal. That's what I was wondering. If it's not on there, am I going to get issued a ticket?
Check the map. Check your map. If you get the OHV map, it'll tell you what trails you can and cannot be on.
Okay.
But this here, and you'll see some of these trail markers that actually have a pickup truck on them too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
not just a Jeep. They're not biased.
Yeah. But if the road's a little easier for a four-wheel drive pickup, then it will be displayed as so. So how was this trail, Brooklyn?
It was pretty easy. It was smooth, kind of smooth, a little bit sandy.
Yeah, and did you have any steep climbs there in the beginning?
I did, a couple.
How'd you take those?
Standing up, a lot of momentum and a lot of balance, and I made it up to the top.
Nice. And then let's see if we can fast forward here. So this would be the first steep section that she came to, and we actually, when we came out the first time with the family, this was probably the steepest section that you've ridden.
Yeah.
Going up wasn't too difficult, but going down's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah.
These trails, when they get dry and dusty, no moisture in the ground, it feels like you're riding on marbles. So you're having to use a lot of brake control. You don't want to hammer down the brake or you slide all the way down. You actually have to, pulsate the brake to keep traction. So.
Well, in a sense, you've got three because you've got the engine, so the gears, and you got the front brake and the rear brake. So that's quite a bit of things to monitor at one time.
Right. But the GoPro doesn't really give it justice like any other camera on how steep something is. But Dylan, you were saying if you actually had a camera facing backwards, you can actually see some steepness, right?
My successful points that I found so far, and I'm still experimenting, are rear swing arm facing backwards, probably 6 inches in front of the bolt, or 4 inches. Enough where it was a straight surface. The other one was front fork. I found a spot that was at kind of an angle, but with two little stubby adapters, I was able to get it flat. So basically, it's almost in line with or it's just above the axle line, if you will. So you get the front rim plus a whole bunch of the side of the trail. And then selfie stick 4 feet out facing the rider, I think is a really cool view too. Alternative to putting them on the helmet, which I've learned is probably one of the most boring, with the other one being, I think you've already mentioned, it would be in front of the mouth. And then you mentioned underneath the visor, but the three that work for me: long selfie stick, front fork, rear fork.
Gotcha. If you're watching the video right now, this is just above where you cross M10. This is what they call the hell spot. So this was designed that if there was an injured rider up on this trail, that this would be an area a helicopter can actually land in and transport the patient if needed.
Man, that'd be dusty if it landed there. Whew. Cool.
Well, what the pilots will normally do is they'll come in and they'll do a hover over the LZ, and it blows a lot of the loose dust and dirt away. And then once they hover and that is, dissipated, then they'll come in and land.
Okay. All right. It's clever.
Let's fast forward here a little bit. So right here is the trail leading to the launch pad for the paramotors, or not paramotors, the paragliders and the hang gliders. And Brooklyn, you and I walked out this. This was probably what, a 5-10 minute walk?
Yeah, about, yeah.
They have to carry their stuff up that trail for 5 or 10 minutes?
They do. They do.
They don't let them drive up to unload?
They can unload right here.
Oh, but walk the last bit. Okay.
Yep. But a lot of the guys enjoy that because that's the way they get the exercise. This is one of the easier spots to launch because a lot of guys have to hike from the base all the way up to the launch point, which can take like 30 minutes or an hour. So this is pretty pleasant for those guys, from what I've heard.
10 minutes. I'll take that. That works for me. No problem.
Let's see. So after that, Brooklyn, what'd you think of the top of 34?
The top, it was steep.
It was not. It wasn't an easy trail at the top, was it?
It was very steep.
Let's see if we can play it here a little bit. Oh, we'll get fast forward. Yeah. So I think what happened was the original trail up top, a tree had fallen over. And I think with riders trying to go around the tree, they made a different route. And the route is much steeper than the original. I was finding hard to get traction, and my front tire was popping up in the air. And at one point I actually stopped and I turned around, and you'll see it here in a minute, but I turned around. I was going to tell Brooklyn to not come up. And if I didn't say before, we were actually connected with CNAs, the intercom.
Oh, yeah.
So we were actively talking to each other as we were riding.
Well, what are those?
The 30, I have it over there. I think it's the 30K or whatever. The Bluetooth intercom.
Yes, but those connect between each other via Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, they have a pretty quick reconnection time if you lose connection.
We actually had ours on mesh mode, public. So we've always had problems in the past with trying to keep those connected. And it seems like with that mesh public mode, which anybody can hear what's going on, it always reconnected right away.
They can be really handy.
Yeah. In a line of sight, close sight, because once if I went around the hill, it would lose connection real quick.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
You can get the max distance on Bluetooth on a bike real fast.
Yeah. But they worked well for riding, in a small group like that. So this would be. So this is the probably one of the steepest sections that we came to. What do you think about right here, Brooklyn?
That one part where I stopped, it was challenging because it was kind of on a hill still. And I had to shift, or I was in first, and I had to shift the second very quickly, but I was able to manage it. And then after that, it was smooth, but kind of steep at the same time.
So yeah, this is the tree that was across, I think, the original easy trail. And that trail there does not look too bad. But as you see, it's diverted to the left up a real steep section. So at this point, I was going to stop and let Brooklyn catch up, but I was like, I better keep going get traction, keep momentum so I can get up this hill. And then you can see my front tires starts popping up off the ground. I'm just all over the place. I stopped. I was going to tell Brooklyn, hey, don't come up this trail. But I already saw that she was up and over the water bar. She had the momentum, and I said, go, girl, go. And just look at this girl go. I mean, just ripping it, standing up, going uphill, back in, sliding around, and she made it all the way to the top.
Nice.
That impressed the hell out of me.
Well done.
And then you can see here, I tried to get going again. Back tires just spinning all over the place. Come on, buddy. Go. There we go.
Whoa.
Yeah, front tires popping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, good time. We'll fast forward here a little bit. I think Dylan, you're more into the dispersed camping, but this is one of the campgrounds, one of the paid campgrounds up above Fouts Springs. It's called Mill Valley.
I've seen that on the map. I haven't been there though.
It's a nice campground. It has, I would say, probably 2 spots they could probably get a big camping trailer into, but most of the other sites look like they're more for like tent camping.
But you can ride at a camp. You can ride.
Yes. This
That's
is
cool.
one of the they consider it an OHV campground, so OHV is allowed in here.
That's cool. I like the sound of that.
So we'll just take a little spin around. This campground has been impacted by 2 fires. One being the mill fire and the ranch fire. So you can see it's got some roasted trees in there, but the interior, you still have some green trees, some good shade. You can see the sites that you can pull off. It's got running water. There's some hunters. It does have running water, dumpsters. Yeah, if you can get up to it.
It snows there in the winter?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see each site's got its own picnic table, fire ring. You can have campfires here. I believe it's $5 a night.
That was a lot of easy ups.
Yeah. Dumpster, bathroom. So
there's a lot of spots there.
Yep. And then where'd we go after that, Brooklyn? After we went through Mill Valley?
We took a road up to close to Let's Lake.
Yeah, just below Let's Lake. And this might be another interest of Dylan's. This is what they call lower Let's. And it's right out of Mill Valley.
So you can ride between the two, from one to the other.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty green. It's pretty late in the season.
It's a fenced off area. It's one section of it's kind of a marshy spring area.
Is it private property? Fenced off?
I don't believe so. There's private property on the east side of it, but I believe this is all Forest Service.
Why is it fenced off then, you know?
Keep the OHV out of it, because they'd probably go in there and tear it up.
Gosh darn.
Damn OHV people.
Watch out for them people.
But yeah, it's
one of them people.
That's a pretty cool spot. From there, Brooklyn, where'd we go? Oh, go ahead.
We kept taking the road, went through some logging areas where they were taking down trees. And then I think there was a spot where we took a difficult trail. It was steep going, or my dad took a trail that was very steep. And to find the other road, and then I took another way to find the same road he did.
Yep. So if you're looking at the sign, I believe it says 13. It's more difficult. It has an ATV and a dirt bike, and I believe it's UTV too. Looks like it. I don't know if that's a UTV or if that's a Forest Service symbol. I can't quite remember.
Were you asking about what the colors represent and what the different ones were? Because I got green circle, blue square, and red diamond or black diamond.
It's green is easy, blue is like moderate,
and more difficult, and then most difficult.
Yeah, I think blue is most difficult.
Blue is more difficult.
More difficult.
I had to look it up. That's why, because I was like, I don't really know what it is. I had to look it up.
But there's 3 colors that we go by. It's I can't tell you right off the hand of if they're named differently. But yeah, green is easy, blue's like moderate, and then yeah, black is black diamond. You have the map in front of you there, Dylan?
Not Upper Lake. I grabbed the first OHV map because I wanted to know what the different symbols were. I wanted to make sure.
It should say on it.
Yeah, it does. That's why I looked it up. I have all several of them, but I don't know which one covers that area.
The identifier should all be the same.
Stonyford is not the area. So yeah, it looks like I do have the OHV map from the Forest Service, which looks like it's never been opened. I should probably take care of that. Get it out and get it dirty.
There you go.
Quite a bit to ride there. All the numbers are right there and easy. Oh, look, there's Mill Valley. There's Let's Lake. I didn't even have to try, and I found
there you
them.
go. Right.
They're right next to Big Springs, it looks like.
Yep.
I don't remember if I got this for free or not. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah, you can get those for free.
But it's got all the different, you were just talking about the different OHV symbols. They're all there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
And then below that is the...
There they are. So
I don't know if those are like a mirror image, if you can read those or not.
Easiest, more difficult, and most difficult.
Yep, there you go. And then it's got, all the stuff in here to make it really easy to understand. And they are readily available. Let's see, the front of it looks like, when it's all folded up, I think you see something here. Where is the front of it? Oh, here it is. This is what it looks like on the shelf.
All right.
And yeah, it's a great map. It's kind of sad that it's all brand new looking. I need to get it out and use it.
Yeah, I bet you that's how your dirt bike looks too, huh?
Yeah. I cannot tell a lie.
Got to get you out there.
The same size that way.
All right. So we are on what did I say? Trail 13, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Oh, and then this guy came on and ruined it all.
Okay. So this was one of the steep sections on Trail 13, and it looked like it was kind of in a spring area, so it actually had water that was seeping out of the trail, and then down the trail. Brooklyn and I talked about it, that if you're coming down, don't use a whole lot of. I wouldn't use any front brake, but try to keep your momentum going, and try not to use any brake at all to keep from sliding around.
This is another one of those spots where look where you want to go, because otherwise you're going to end up in the ditch and then you're going to follow.
Yep. And then Brooklyn's, she thought that she should put in first gear. Is that what you did, Brooklyn?
Yes, I was in first gear.
First gear, and did you throw a foot out on this one?
I did at the beginning, yeah.
And then it felt more comfortable, and you sucked the foot back up, or
yeah.
So yeah, there she goes, creeping off of it, and looks like she's taking the same line as I did. Right down through the center, taking it all nice and cautious. Yeah, she did quite well.
And up to second gear, I believe.
Second gear to climb the hill?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good gear.
And then we came up on the O2 road, and it was quite steep trying to get up on the O2 road, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And then what do we?
Sticks in the way.
Yeah, a couple of sticks. And then what do we do when we hit the O2 road?
I believe we took a break. We had a little bag of nuts and a bottle of water.
Yes, bottles of water. And then, is this where you broke your GoPro?
Yes.
Was it?
Wait, no, it wasn't.
It was up further.
Yeah.
Curious minds want to know the GoPro itself or the mount for the GoPro?
It was the mount for the GoPro.
Okay.
She was looking down, and the handlebar hit the GoPro, and it broke the mount off. the sticky, the
Yeah.
stickiness came off, and
Really? Wow. Those
yeah,
stickums are pretty stickum. Like
Y-
they don't usually come off.
yeah. But when we were at the that trail that goes into the launch site for the paragliders,
Huh?
I was changing batteries on it, and I was being quite rough with it, and that's where it actually tore off the first time.
Uh, it
So
was already compromised.
it was already compromised.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. I understand how that works. That's a good shot.
Right. So we found this quite hilarious. Every time she looked up to see if the camera was on, her eyes would go cross-eyed. But I want to find the point where the camera came off because it was pretty. Oh yeah, right here. It was pretty funny.
Oh, it was recording.
It was.
Oh, perfect.
It was funny because when the camera fell off, it recorded us looking down at it. We looked at each other, and I think we looked back down at it, going, "What?" Like, there he goes. What?
What? Oh, that's perfect. You didn't cut that at all. You're telling me that's like straight out of camera?
That's it,
Wow. What are the chances of that?
right?
But we stopped before because my gear switch was acting up for some reason.
That looks heavy.
It's not bad. So what you'll see as we're looking at it on the right side, that's the Cena, the Bluetooth. And Brooklyn, I see that we didn't even pop the antenna out on them.
We did.
There's a little antenna that you can pop up on the top part of it. But yeah, in the front, I got the GoPro with the little fuzzy mount that goes around it. And then I have it hardwired into the battery pack, an external battery pack. And I've always had problems with GoPros, corrupted files, batteries going dead. But this I've never had an issue with. I pull the battery out of the GoPro battery out of the camera, hardwire it into an external battery. This external battery, I have this really awesome. It's not called Velcro, but it's a type of Velcro that will actually Velcro to itself. There's not like a male and a female. It's like all one piece.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck that on the external battery, and then I stuck another strip on my helmet, push it up there, and it does not come off. It's freaking awesome.
What are you? What settings you using to film? Are you shooting in 4K, 2.7, 1080 frame rate?
I 2.7, 60 frame rate.
Okay, that's good. All right. Slow it down if you need to.
I found the 4K. I'm not using it probably like I should, and it overheats my cameras, especially with the fuzzy mount on it.
Oh,
I think it's the processing.
Yeah. Okay, the fuzzy mounts. Okay.
Yeah, even with the 2.7, it seems like this camera is getting pretty hot.
I've never. I don't have a fuzzy mount or cover for the Osmo, so I can't say whether mine overheats. But I own a little casing thing in the sun. It's never overheated. But I don't have a windsock like that, so I can't compare the two.
Yeah. And then you do see I have a mount up top. That's the mount that I've used before. I used the front. I didn't like the top one. It wasn't bad for us riding in the sand, but riding in the mountains, tree limbs and whatnot, I felt like this front mount, lower profile. It's not going to get hung up on limbs, and you can actually hear my voice. So,
what I'm dying to try is the Insta360 1R on a selfie stick, straight with the frame, sticking out the handlebars 2 feet and about 1.5 feet above the what is that top piece on the handlebars,
right?
And the 360 camera right there. I think that would be an epic location for a 360 camera,
right?
You could get on the bike rider, you could get the bike rider's hand, like the hands, swing around the front, like
if you got like other riders like riding next to you, in front of you, behind you.
I need a bucket full of drool that I'm about to salivate thinking about the shot. Sorry.
Brooklyn, take us on from here. You remember where we went?
I do not.
All right, so you lost your GoPro, and we just rode down the O2 road, 17 in O2 road. A car could drive down this road. It wasn't bad at all.
Saw one.
Yeah, we saw some hunters out there. And then this here, we're coming up on Trail 55. And what's kind of funny is when I was telling Brooklyn about riding the trails out here is she gets a map and she gets to mark off all the trails that she's ridden on. So she takes a marker and draws. And it's funny because Trail 55 would probably take you less than a minute to drive on. So she got that one wrapped up. And this is the beginning of it here. Trail 55.
That's a great idea with the map marking where you've been. I can't tell you how many times I wish I had done that when I first started my adventures. And I think that's great you're doing that. I really do.
It's a goal for us to eventually ride every trail that's available to us out there. So if we're keeping track,
that's brilliant. Really,
we can go to a new location when we go back out there. So this is the middle of 55. Another hella spot. Nice wide area, no trees. And then in this video here, we're just kind of pointing out what mountains that we see around us. Dylan, are you aware of any of the mountain ranges around Fouts Springs?
No, that's a part of the forest that I'm branching out to here. Hopefully Memorial Weekend, right around in there. It's all new to me.
Oh, Andrew. I see Andrew says, hey. Yeah, Andrew comes on the show here quite a bit in the live chat and usually hangs out with us. Doing good, Andrew. We're just going over a little story of me and Brooklyn this last Wednesday going out on our dirt bike ride. Her first big adventure ride, 20 plus miles. Yeah, first big loop. But yeah, out here. So Dylan, behind Brooklyn, that is the Snow Mountain Wilderness.
Yeah, I almost guessed that, judging by the fact it's burnt.
And then to the right, you can barely see it through the trees. You got a little mountain peak right there. That's St. John.
Okay, good. Thanks for the frame of reference.
Let's see if we flip back around here.
That's a pretty good view.
Let's get turned around. Okay. So the mountain, I would say the mountain range to the right there, that is Goat Mountain.
Okay.
And then going left, you're going by Horse Rock down into Pacific Ridge. Okay, from there, we continued on.
Andrew says it must have been lots of fun.
What's that?
Andrew says it must have been lots of fun. Sure looks like it to me.
Brooklyn, what did you think? Was it lots of fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Hey, it was a lot of fun for me, too.
Yeah, I'd imagine that any time out there is a great old time.
So now we're coming up on the this is the what they call the heliport. This is where M5 and Trail 30 kind of intersect. And if you look here as I come up over the lip, GoPro doesn't give it justice, but this is a pretty steep trail.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Brooklyn, when you came up on this point?
I was curious about it. I didn't know if it was too steep or if it was just right, not too steep and not too easy, if that's the word. But later on we talked about it and I slowly went down it back a couple times with the back brake, but mostly rolled down it.
Yeah, so if you watch her when she goes off this hill, watch that back tire and you'll see her kind of lock it up. It slides and then she releases it. And and then she gets to going and then she locks it up again. And she just constantly on and off the brake like that. And she's keeping traction. So she's testing it out here. You can see that she's using that brake, slide, release, slide, release. Look at that. She's got 1 foot out, which is fine. Slow speed. You know, she just wants to keep her stability. Go up to the next water bar. We talk about it, what line we're going to take, how we're going to use our controls, and then back on it again. I think she did awesome.
Thank you.
It's just fine to me. Looks like you made it smooth as butter.
Yeah, there was some of this. I think it was the next one down, Brooklyn, the next steep one down, where she was just doing her thing, and then I was like filming her, and then my bike started sliding more, and I ended up just like passing right by her because I couldn't stop. I just slid right by. But yeah, just rocking it. Yep. So every water bar we stop and we talk about it, we feel comfortable, we go on. Baby steps, right? One challenge at a time.
Step by step.
Yep. Oh, don't
Oh,
go
what's
too
this?
fast.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on a second. Teaser.
teaser. Okay. So this is coming off Trail 30. We're coming down to hit M5. And M5 basically goes along the ridge here, and then Trail 30 breaks off of M5 every once in a while, and you catch these little trails like this. Nothing. I think it's one of the easiest. I think they claim easiest green. And here she goes.
And that looks like fun.
And what's going to happen? Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh. So tell us what happened there, Brooklyn. You didn't get hurt, right?
I did not get hurt.
Okay. Tell us what happened.
In the beginning, I slowed down because it didn't look too steep, but it kind of looked unstable-ish. So I slowed down, but instead of using my back brake, I used my front brake, and my front tire got locked up, and then I almost had it that right turn I took, but then I just lost control after that. And I whiskey throttled it too, through the middle.
Yeah, that was a little whiskey throttle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, she was a trooper, man. She just pulled that bike up and said, "Let's go." I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's see how you're feeling. Let's let the adrenaline run out. Quit shaking. Let's check the bike out. Make sure it wasn't a cable that got pinched for some reason that went, made the bike go full throttle. So she, I think we knocked some of the dust out of the foot peg. She turned the bike on and moved the bars left to right just to make sure it wasn't that pinched cable. Yeah, she's starting it up. Oh,
Hondas are tough.
There you go.
Those are great bikes.
Yeah. That Honda. What do you think about that bike, Brooklyn?
I like it. The thing is about it though is it only has 4 gears, and I'm used to going higher with higher gears. But otherwise, I really like it. It's a good brand.
But out here, you haven't hit 4th gear, have you?
I have, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last part.
Did you tack it out? Tack out 4th gear?
No.
Like high revs?
No.
Okay. So it could go faster.
Yeah, I was just cruising down the hill though, taking it easy.
So here we're just talking about what happened, looking at the signs, trying to figure out what went wrong. And this is the time that we learn from the mistake that we made, so we don't make it again. So that's what we're doing there. And then everything's good at the bike. Brooklyn was feeling better. We jumped on and continued on. More steep trails, right, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
So what about this one? You remember this one at all?
I do not remember this one.
Yeah, this is the one where
this is after I wrecked, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one I said I went right on, and I went, whoa, no, I went left on.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, continuing down the 30 trail. Oh, actually, no, this is, down the 30 trail, catching M5 a couple times. I see Christopher's on, huh?
Yeah,
our live chat.
A friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, saying hey.
So yeah, we're cruising on, and then there's Brooklyn coming up a pretty steep hill right there, and then down the 17 M30, which is the they call a shortcut road, leaves from Trail 30 M5 down into Nail Track.
Mm-hmm. That's where we usually go up to.
Yeah, that's a good spot to go up, huh?
Yeah.
So we get back down into Nail Track. What were we talking? Do you remember what we were discussing when we got into Nail Track, Brooklyn?
Oh, those are fun.
No, I don't remember.
if we were going to continue to ride or not.
Oh yeah.
Because it was 11:30 and I'm sure it wasn't, but it felt like it was 100 degrees.
Is that the feels like or the real feel or whatever it's called?
So at this point, we're kind of talking, going, should we grab a bottle of water, relax a little bit, and then go for another ride? And we finally decided, no, it's time to load things up.
It was really hot.
Drink some water, get the AC going, and just drive home. Yeah, if you're going to ride Fouts Springs in the summertime, get up early, get there early, go ride, and probably be loaded up before noon. Or you're going to have a heat stroke out there.
So my question would be, after today's ride, it seems like a decent amount of variety for the type of trails you went on. I'm going to narrow it down to 2 different styles, and forgive me, I just don't want to make it too complex. Let's go with hard and fast, like tabletop jumps and big bank turns and like spitting, sliding sideways the whole time, or slow and steady through a creek bed, or maybe traversing up a hill climb that's not all that steep, but it's full of ruts, meaning slow and steady or fast and hard. Which way would you rather ride? Brooklyn?
For Brooklyn?
I would honestly do the fast and the hard type. Because I like the new challenge. Okay. And to me, going fast and going up steep stuff is fun.
Okay. What about Brian? I mean, what are you into?
I'm really, it seems to change with me. Right now, I'm kind of going more for that like hard enduro. So I want to learn more of the slow technical, getting up over logs, rocks, balancing better on the bike, popping wheelies, using that to your advantage to get over things. So I want to progress that route.
I would agree. I'm in the same boat. I'm only getting younger, so I want to stay on the ground. So slow and steady wins the race is the way I'm going to put it. Yeah, give me the creek beds and the slower technical climbs any day. I can see the fun though. I'm doing a Superman over some giant tabletop. I can see that in the crowd's like cheering you on. Oh, I can feel, Sorry.
Yeah, but do you have a foam pit where you can practice that?
Yeah.
I don't.
When I win the lottery, I'll buy us both.
Nice. So kind of sum it up for us, Brooklyn, how you thought the whole trip went. Maybe some things you're going to work on.
The whole entire trip was fun, very fun. And the things I would work on are completely standing up, not like a quad stance, because I'm always used to.
Can you define those differences? I've never, please. I don't understand.
Yeah, on a quad, you usually scoot your butt side to side to do.
Oh yes, to move your center of gravity. Like if you're sliding around a turn, you'll put your butt on the. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So you're kind of low and kind of squat type of move, but with the dirt bike, you want to be kind of all the way standing up with your knees kind of bent. But I've always been used to doing the quad stance, so I'm trying to work on doing the dirt bike stance, which is almost standing all the way, going up hills, steep ones too.
A whole new set of muscles, a whole new set of soreness.
Oh yeah, today I'm sore.
It's good exercise, and the last time I went out to Cow Mountain, I thought, oh, this is great. It's been a while, but I'll be fine. I got back after like 6 or 7 hours. I could barely walk. I was hurting. We did like 60 miles or something, but oh man, I literally was like, I gotta load the bike still.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna have to get that bike going. Get out there with us.
Yeah.
I have no excuse. All it needs is front bearings.
Front bearings.
That's it. It's ready to go. I'm pathetic. I know. Sorry. I'll get it going. I promise.
All right. Yeah.
And both. I promise, with no hands behind my
back. Perfect. Anything you take away from the trip, Brooklyn? Anything you're gonna try to learn, do better, work on?
Like I said, doing the dirt bike stance.
The stance.
To me, that would be the only thing I need to work on.
Did you feel comfortable in how you're using your brakes?
Yeah, I felt comfortable. A couple times I forgot where the brake was, the back brake,
No.
but usually,
I've
yeah.
done that. I've done that before.
Is that the clutch or the brake?
And
But
that usually,
otherwise, I
I
really
usually end
liked
up
it.
on the side when that happens.
Mhm. The one thing that I learned way too late was what I already stated in the beginning, which is sometimes like when you're going around a turn, you think you might be going too fast. Don't slam the brakes, hit the throttle. It is so counterintuitive to what your brain thinks to do. But if you hit that brake, guaranteed you're going straight forward, and that means off the cliff. Whereas if you give it some gas and kind of lean into it and get kind of oversteer with that extra throttle, you stand a better chance of getting through. It might be a little scary the first few times, but learning how to drift a bike could save your bike or a leg or a lot of things, or just the humiliation of going off the side and all your buddies having to push you back up. That's the worst. I remember once a long time ago, I had a buddy downshifted twice and didn't realize it, and then it just started doing this, and then boom off the edge of the cliff, and it was not a cliff, but he grabs a branch and does a Superman around it, and lands on the road. But the bike, you can just hear it going ding, 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 ding. Oh, it's like 100 yards down the mountain and towing it back up. The rope snaps over all the way back down a second time. That was humiliation. Started to steal the show there for a second, but it was not good. But yeah, sorry.
No, I want to go continue on that point that you're making. I used
it.
to ride a lot of dirt bikes out the ranch when I was younger. And then once I moved off the ranch, graduated high school, didn't really have any dirt bikes at that time. And it took me probably, 20 years to get back into it. So once I bought the new bike and was out there riding the trails and the roads, those, like you're saying, those that trying to go down the road around a corner and it just feels slippery and loose. You're saying gun it, right? Get traction. But at that stage of the game, I wasn't doing that. Where I actually learned that was riding in the sand dunes.
That's
I
a
don't know.
perfect place.
Because the sand dunes is a perfect place because I don't know if you've ever rode a stand-up jet ski in the water.
Nope.
But if anybody has, that's how a dirt bike feels in the sand. You got to go fast. The faster you go, the more stable the bike is. Stay off the front brake. Try not to put your weight on the front tire. Keep your weight towards the back because you want the front tire floating. And then when you go into a turn, you want to gas it. Get a lot of traction, get the paddles to turn. Because if you come into a corner and you're really timid, you're most likely going to dig in and crash, because if you let off the throttle, your weight kind of goes forward onto your front forks, and then that transfers down into the front tire, digs in, over you go. Where you pin it, you gain the traction, the weight gets kind of pushed back on the bike, front tire floats, and around the corner you go. So when I was riding a lot of the sand dunes, Brooklyn, it was what, 3 years of just riding like solid sand dunes. And then we started going back out and hitting the trail again. I noticed that my brain was rewired. So when I came into those slippery turns on those mountain roads or the trails, and my bike starts to slip, it just automatically, I just hit the throttle, Bob, and you just straighten right back up. Yeah, it was kind of cool, and it kind of clicked, going, oh, awesome. So sand does make a difference. It doesn't only break bones.
Mine was in slippery mud. That was a lot of fun. We found a really big patch of mud that was really sticky, but you wouldn't sink in it no matter how fast you were spinning. I don't know how we figured that out, but standing up, sitting down, and it was all about the balance of learning how to steer the bike by just moving a little bit so that it would drift on the mud. I think I spent 2 hours there playing in it. It was almost like having a spiked front tires, but then riding on ice in the back tire. It was a lot of fun.
Did I show you my war wound?
No. So, I think you have that in one of your videos with the X-ray.
Yeah. Ew. So that was Dumont Dunes. Sun was going down. Actually, I think it had gone down. We were in that. You can see, sunset, but it was too dark for GoPros, so my GoPro was shut off. Wanted to get one last ride in for the night or for the day. And I told everybody where I was going, rode out by myself, zipping around on the dunes. I came up on this razorback, and I was going to transfer from this small razorback. It was probably only 20 feet up in the air, maybe just this little razorback sand dune. And you can ride up it, and you can transfer onto it up into this big sand dune. And as I got onto that razorback, I don't know what happened. I was going fast. I had speed. I had momentum. I was sitting on the back of the bike. But for some reason, that front tire just dug in real quick and threw me off the bike. And I was probably doing, it's hard to say, but like 20 miles an hour, maybe.
I've seen that. I've never experienced it, but I've seen it. Ugh.
Flew off. So this being the forward facing my bike, I flew off kind of off to the side. Shoulder hit first, and I believe my chest protector with the cups that protect the shoulder, right where my bone broke is right where that edge of that cup was. So I think that bent the cup inward like this, which actually snapped the bone. And then my head hit, rang my bell, but didn't knock me out. Got up, shook it off. I thought that I might have dislocated my shoulder, since I've never dislocated my shoulder and I don't really know what it feels like.
Sounds right.
So I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably what I did. No one around. Bike is, if you got the slope, the bike is laying, down slope. So I've got to try to pick the bike up from the downhill side. Managed to get it up, jumped on the bike, and rode it back to camp, which was another like 5 minutes. As I was pulling up to camp, I was thinking to myself, how can I get this past my wife?
Yeah, all right. Good luck.
So I parked the bike. She comes out. I'm like, does this look bad? And my shoulder's like this. And she looks at it, is like, yeah, that's not good. we need to take you to the hospital. And that's where we found that, yeah, it was broken. So, Brooklyn, bad things can happen. Okay. So be safe out there. Make smart decisions. Mm-hmm. Yes. Never go beyond your comfort level. Don't go out there just to show off. If you do that, you're going to get hurt.
Most likely.
Push your limits, but don't overexceed them. Mm-hmm. Dylan, you got any final words?
I gave my final words of advice. More throttle, not less brake.
What do you think, Brooklyn? You got any advice for the viewers out there?
Don't whiskey throttle.
Yeah, don't whiskey throttle.
Otherwise, I don't have anything.
All right. Nothing else to add? Right in the show here. Go.
It's up to you all. I'll talk all day long if you want me to. I'm just like an Energizer bunny. I don't know what we'd talk about, but I'm sure we'd come up with something.
Well, you saw the Fouts area from the some of the film that I was showing. Any questions?
Yeah, well, if you wanted to spend all day out there and you're willing to put up with the heat, could you?
We did. We took the camping trailer in there the first day. Camping trailer, AC generator. Yeah, we did quite well.
Yeah, gee, I wonder how.
No, we rode in the mornings when it was nice and cool. We got back to camp around noon. We then either hung out in the shade, which wasn't too bad, with a slight breeze. There's running water in the creeks there at Fouts Springs, so you can find some.
You can kind of sprinkle yourself off.
Yeah, and you can find some deep pools. I found one that what was it? A cannonball, Brooklyn. I jumped off a rock and did a cannonball, but cool. But it wasn't deep where, I guess it was shallow where I actually hit the bottom of my cannonball. But I know of other areas out there where if I had done a cannonball, I probably would have never touched. So you can find some deep holes.
We also made a dam too that made the water rise a lot.
Yeah, we were playing around with that. Yeah,
that's quite a day of it. To me, so I come from Windsor in Sonoma County, California. It seemed to me like my best bet would probably be to go the night before when it's like, I think it's a 4 or 5 hour, 4 hour drive from here. I think that's what it is. Stay the night there and then wake up early, go riding, and then drive home afterwards.
Yeah, maybe about 1 o'clock you'll start getting sleep, because it didn't start cooling down outside until around midnight, 1 o'clock. It was
Sometimes you
kind
got to
of
pay to play though too.
hot and humid. But if you're a type of person that can handle that and sleep with that, then yeah, for sure.
Well, it might be my only option though, because otherwise I got to get up at like what 4 a.m. or 3
Right.
a.m. And
Mm-hmm.
that can be just as brutal as not sleeping, but being there. Just getting, lay there in misery, but at least you don't have to sit there in the car for 4 hours. I mean, granted, I should correct myself. I love my vehicles and I love driving them. I'm just weighing all my options.
Um, the option is you could leave like at 6 o'clock, get there late if you can set up camp late.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
don't know
that's
what,
what I meant. Yeah, leave in the
yeah.
evening when you get up there to like where it's not pitch black, but you can still set up your tent. And then just, how do you say it? Some people call it, it starts with an M. Oh, minimalist camping. Yeah, that's it. I could be doing that. Bring the tent and just a small sleeping bag and a pad, the bike, gas,
Right.
essentials.
But understand that is low elevation. So there is a lot of other areas out there that you can probably within 40 minutes gain quite a bit of elevation and actually disperse camp up higher, where you can actually get some of that wind flow and into the cooler temperatures. So that
That'd
could
be
be
nice.
another option for you too.
You could turn your commute into maybe an hour and it wouldn't be quite so bad.
All right.
And then you could actually make a decent breakfast. That's the other thing you got to factor in. You may have a 4 hour drive time, but you still got to have breakfast and shower and shave and all that stuff before you even go anyway. So, yeah, that could be an early day. Granted, again, all worth it.
Hey, and I know you're a fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's Lake.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I believe I've been there on a bike before. I think we came in. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we got there from what was it, Indian Valley, House Springs. Came up through one of those M or M roads through BLM land.
So I'm gonna stop you real quick.
Yeah.
So Let's Lake. You can only drive plated vehicles into Let's
We
Lake.
didn't go into it.
Okay.
It was
Got
the
up to it.
last little bit was paved,
Okay.
and we saw the sign, but we got to that sign via dirt roads. We never made it actually to the lake. We made it to the entrance. At least that's my memory, but that was a really long time ago. 7, 8 years ago. I mean, a long time ago.
So what I've been told is that the camp Let's Lake campground had opened up just recently, and it was after the point where they have normally stock that lake. But normally, I think they stock it, I want to say twice a year, but the fishing's been bad in there so far.
Even with it stocked?
It hasn't been stocked this year.
Oh.
The whole lake and the campground has been closed ever since the ranch fire.
Yeah, that's been closed for a long time.
Yeah, it got burnt. The Big Springs day use area just got nuked.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map. Looks like we from the M5 roughly, and then a few N roads. Yeah, you can get there from where House Springs. So my memory is correct. But again, we like you're saying, can't ride in camp. We rode to the edge of the pavement and then turn around. But there are plenty of N roads back up in there.
Yeah, and it's a nice campground. I mean, it's quite popular too. You get a lot of people from the valley that come up and try to escape from the hot weather, get up where it's cool.
Can
Let
you
the kids
swim there?
play in the water. You can swim. You can boat, but it has to be non-motorized.
Okay, but is it one of those places like at Plesket Meadows where you can technically swim, but you'd piss off every fisherman in there because it's not that big?
No,
okay.
No. This is this compared to Plaskett is probably, I want to say 10 to 20 times bigger.
Wow. Okay. That
Maybe
sounds
10.
like a nice area.
So you know where the people play, the kids around the boat ramp, the shallow area. There's a walking trail that goes all the way around the lake. So you got plenty of room for people to fish and get away from the crowds, or the guys want to take the boat and go where they want.
But you ride a plated bike, yes?
Yes.
There's a license plate on there. You got a license for it too?
Yep.
So in theory, you could go in there.
Yep. So a Husqvarna FE350. It's a plated bike. I do have my M1, and I've had that, I think, since I've graduated high school. because I love riding street bikes. So yeah, and that's why I picked that Husqvarna. I wanted a light dirt bike, but I wanted one that I could ride the trails and ride the highway if I need to, especially in the Fouts Springs area, because there, if you look at the map, there's a lot of roads that you cannot ride in there.
Mm-hmm.
And say you're up somewhere and you just want to call it a day and you want an easy ride back. What's easier than just jumping on a paved road, going back to your truck? Or if you get hurt or something like that. But and also I can leave right here from the house and go down to the store on it. And no one will hassle me. And the bike, I don't know how much your bike weighs, but the Husqvarna dry is about 240 pounds.
I have no idea.
And from all the dual sports that I've seen, that is probably one of the lightest dual sports. Because I know before I was looking at the Hondas, and you're looking at like what, a 300-400 pound bike. I didn't really want to be taking those on the trails. I know people have done it and it's possible, but for me and the experience level that I'm at, I don't want to be picking up that big old bike.
So Google's saying that my 250 is 284.4 pounds.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if that's dry or wet, but that's what Google says.
Gotcha.
But I have no lights. I have no turn signal. I do not have an M1. I have no plate. But put me on the road, off-road, and I will definitely give you at least a run for your money.
Have you ever ridden a street bike?
Only to like down the end of a driveway or something, though. To be honest, I'm not real keen on the street. It's not my ability to ride. It's all the other drivers. I don't trust them.
So here's what I'm thinking for you, Dylan. Dual sport, adventure bike riding, dispersed camping.
Yeah.
Cheap on fuel. You're minimalist camping.
Yeah. As soon as you can tow a box trailer, I'm on board.
You can. Not a box trailer, but they do have trailers for them.
Yeah, I've seen those. So I could fit a sleeping bag in there.
But what about you, Brooklyn? Are you going to end up getting a street bike?
Maybe like a highway bike, if you would call that, and a dirt bike, kind of like yours.
Dual sport?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think at the age of 16.
I thought it was 15.
Is it 15?
I thought so. I thought you could get one earlier as a motorcycle license and a driving license.
I'm pretty close.
But there's restrictions on it, I think, right?
There's restrictions on everything. That's the problem, and I have no idea.
I think you can only ride like it at daylight. You got to stay off the freeways, no passengers, until you become 18, and then you have to take a CC rider course. And
no, Mom says no.
Oh no!
Secret, cat's out of the bag.
Busted.
I didn't know I was saying that out loud.
And Brooklyn, what kind of vehicle were you thinking about getting, or what we were talking about? I kind of planted the idea in your head.
A truck.
Yeah, what kind of truck?
Isn't it a Toyota?
Yeah, I think for her first vehicle, having a little Toyota pickup with a bed where she could either put a camper shell on it or she could put a dirt bike on it. What do you think, Dylan? She set with the Toyota?
Fantastic idea, but I gotta wonder, are we talking like what body style, era, years? Like, I mean, that's a pretty broad term, and then we've got even 4Runner versus pickup, which are kind of the same thing. Like, so how about a little more specificity on that one?
I think whatever in her budget.
Okay, so maybe like mid 80s, or early 90s. Those are really good. They're still going to be really, really easy to find. Parts are going to be absolutely everywhere. Well, the reason I always like Toyotas is you could find wherever you went, somebody had something for it because they're everywhere. And you guys, Top Gear approved, they're tough trucks for what they are. We just sold our 86 Toyota pickup because I found I wasn't really driving it and we were having some smog issues with it anyway. But I got to tell you, there's something about the simplicity of a carburetor and a few spark plug wires. You can work on it yourself, which taught you to be self-sufficient and not have to worry about, being ripped off. I don't know if you caught it on one of my live streams a while ago, but last time I was up at Board Tree, I ran across a girl between Plesket Meadows and Board Tree with a flat tire and no idea what did what or anything. Like no idea. Real pretty girl just sitting there. So fortunately, I'm not a creep. I helped her change her tire. She was on her way, but had I not come by, she could have been there a really long time. Working on your own vehicle, can teach you a lot of that kind of stuff and could save your life or somebody else's. And also, it's a good way to start because they're not that complicated. You open the hood on a new vehicle now, and you're like, where do I even start? I studied to be an auto mechanic 20 years ago. I thought I was going to be. I can open the hood and understand what's under there, but I still go, oh my God, I got to dig through all this stuff. Whereas something from that generation can easily change the oil, change the filter, change the plugs, and learn how the stuff works too. If something breaks on it, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you might be able to improvise something else. You know, spark plug wire gets cooked on the manifold. Okay, well, we're going to rob a section of wire and just run it between my distributor cap and the wire and the spark plug. It's not going to work great, but it's going to get you home. So I would think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, I think a little Toyota pickup is great.
Yeah, and we've been teaching the girls early too. So with their quads, you know, when we go out to the sand dunes, they're changing their own tires. They're going from knobbies to the sand paddles, and they're putting them on themselves.
Yeah, that's
they're
good.
torquing it down. They're checking their oils. They're checking their tire pressure. Brooklyn, you had some problems with your quad too, with the starter or something like that, and we had to kind of troubleshoot it out in the sand.
I think that was Grace's.
No, I think Grace, yeah, she was having some issues, but I think yours we had an issue too, and I can't remember what it was.
I think I ran out. I was almost out of gas, and then it wouldn't start, so we had to turn we had to turn a knob to make the extra gas come out, so then I can get home.
But we had
the reserve.
Yeah.
But we did have a battery issue too, and I think I fixed that. I think it was one of the wires going to the starter or something was loose or corroded.
A few coconuts, some nickel, some copper, you'd be good.
Yeah, but the kids are starting. So yeah, hopefully when Brooklyn gets her first pickup, she'll be doing a lot of the maintenance and troubleshooting on it.
The other plus side is a lot more riding too, because if you have your own truck, you can take your own bike out into the forest and get yourself out there and go enjoy. So there is that aspect too. You don't have to be waiting for somebody else to go, hey, can I tag along? I'm just gonna go.
Right. Yep. All right. I think we've been on for what, like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Lost track of time with the watch. I don't have.
So I think we're gonna kind of close up shop here. I want to say thank you, Brooklyn, once again for going out on that ride with me.
Yeah, no problem.
I think you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
You've got some natural talent that I never had in the beginning. So yeah, hopefully many more rides to come. Dylan, thanks for coming on and helping out. I know
Absolutely.
I'll put a link in the description for Dylan's channel and the new video that he put out. So definitely go over there, check him out. A lot of dispersed camping info, like places to camp, stories, the gear that he uses, locations. You got Patreon too, so I'll put your Patreon in there as well.
So if you Patreon, you can actually get all my pins everywhere I've ever been with a comment. It's all on there.
So if you're enjoying Dylan's content, definitely jump on Patreon and support him, help him out, because being a small YouTuber, there's no money in it. And sometimes it's hard to continue to get better without any kind of income to support it. So
absolutely.
But you got some fantastic work over there, Dylan.
Thank you. Thank you. We try our best to work with what we've got.
Yeah, you and Pepper are got a good team going, and you guys are building fast. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you. And hopefully one of these days we can get out riding together, and maybe while you guys are riding, I can take on some of the additional tasks of placing cameras. You guys can focus on the riding and whatnot, and we can still come out with something really cool.
Yeah, we need a drone pilot out there for sure.
Yeah, I think you know a guy.
I think I know a guy.
With one or two or three.
So for everybody that's been watching the show, the video clips that you were seeing was actually from our Premiere software. It's a video that I'm editing currently, and hopefully you're going to be releasing it. I'll put a link up here at the top, so when it's finished, you can click on that link. What's that?
A sneak peek.
Sneak peek. Yeah, you got a sneak peek right here. So yeah, click on the link. I'll put it in the description below. Check the video out. Shows pretty much our whole ride. And then we're linked with Cena, so you can hear the conversation between the two of us as we do the ride. 20 plus miles, I think we rode.
Good time.
X Country Talk. I'm hoping to continue every Thursday at 5 o'clock, bringing on these adventurous type guests. I do have Dylan. Do you know Max Powell?
No.
Big YouTuber up in Washington, has 127,000 subscribers. Does everything from overlanding, paramotors, UTVs,
Wow.
boating, falconry. Now he's got like a little skid steer that he's messing around on his property. Pretty cool dude. I love his content, and we were going to have him on this week, but he got busy. He's got to get a lot of work done before the rain hits. So when he doesn't get so busy, we're going to have him on the show, and he's quite the character. So quite entertaining.
Good.
Got a Bigfoot hunter that wants to come on, skydivers. We have some diving instructors, some Red Bull folks.
All right, you got some good content coming then.
I got a couple that's sailing around the world, and I believe they're still in the process of doing that. A couple with their, I want to say, one child. So yeah, a lot of cool folks that we're going to bring on the show. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything that we post. So thanks again, guys. We're going to close it out.
Cheers. Bye, y'all.
And don't go anywhere yet, you two. I'm going to close out the show, and we will have a post-show offline.
Bye.
Good night, all. See you out there on the next big event.